Hey everybody, welcome to a new edition of Friday PM. It's a new season, but it's the same Luigi, it's the same exciting show. This week's show, we have a really cool one with Danny Cashman, the great Danny Cashman, live at his night show taping that will be tomorrow night in Westbrook. Danny's a great guy. We had a great conversation talking about how it's going to be, this next year is going to be his last year doing it. It's been a great show for a long time, so we have a great conversation. We're also going to be talking to the great and powerful Warren Edgar about a show he produces called Pathways of Progress. Pathways is here on PMC. It's a great show with a lot of local city council members talking about a lot of interesting things city-wise. Beyond that, though, we're also going to be talking to the Portland extrovert, Jamie Terrelin. Jamie's got some very interesting stories to tell about the best places to go downtown when you want to eat and enjoy food. Jamie's a great person, really interesting as well. We have some music for you at the end that's a little taste of what's upcoming, which is going to be Saturday Night Special with Tony Lynn Washington. We're going to have a couple of songs from her and her band at the end to close out the show. But if you really want to see the full concert, watch tomorrow night. That's going to be Saturday at 11 p.m. Tony Lynn and the band are going to be playing live from Lenny's. Bill Umble and Lenny's, great people. Check that one out. Enough of my rambling. Here we are, going to the great Danny Cashman. Thanks a lot. Hey everybody, I'm here with Danny Cashman, a late night staple on television in Maine. You've been doing the show for over a decade now,
yeah.
Maybe two, yeah.
It's a loaded question, but we've been doing it continuously for about 14 years. It started, we had an earlier version. We were a reboot before reboots were cool. So we started it in 1997, went for about 5 years, and then away for 8 years, and we've come back in 2010, so about 14 years continuously.
Okay.
It's a lot of math.
A lot of math to figure out. So you guys are in, I guess it's the final season now? Or
Next season's the final season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when does that end? Because people have been, I mean, you've been kind of like, it's like a Johnny Carson type of thing. You've been in everybody's home at Saturday nights, most nights, on Bangor and in Portland.
And in Presque Isle.
Don't
forget the county.
Yeah, exactly.
They will be so mad.
I agree. Sorry, Presque Isle. And I mean, I just don't get to Presque Isle. But I've been in Bangor, seen your show there. You started out more there on Channel 5,
WABI, the CBS
right.
station there. We were actually on down here originally on My Network TV affiliate.
Okay.
And I'll give you a second to Google that.
Right. No,
but it's then we moved to the CW, and now we are on Fox 23 and CBS 13 down here.
Because the My Network was on digital antennas a lot, too.
Yeah. You had to try real hard to find it.
Right, exactly. It's like those ones, it's like a number and then a point something
and
stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting it on and being on throughout all of Maine is pretty cool. And so you cover most of Maine with your show?
All of Maine.
Yeah,
we got all of Maine. We got part of New Hampshire and part of Atlantic Canada. So we hit the whole state.
And is the show popular in Canada too? Or?
Don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
I don't think about Canada.
Exactly. It's not right on the
I
top
kind of forget they're there
priority.
most of the time, actually, other than Tim Hortons.
So tonight's episode that we're broadcasting, but you'll be broadcasting live here, Westbrook Performing Arts Center, and your tonight's episode. Can you tell us a little bit about who's going to be on, what it's going to be? Yeah.
So we're recording at the Westbrook Performing Arts Center. It's our third time here. It's our seventh time taking our show on the road out of our home base. It's always a big undertaking, but it's so worth it. These air tomorrow night on the stations I mentioned, Fox 23 and CBS 13, and then a week from tomorrow. Tomorrow night you'll see a Westbrook basketball legend, Lisa Blaze Manning. She won 4 state titles with the Westbrook Blue Blazes, and then she went on to win a national title for the NCAA, or with the NCAA, with the Old Dominion something or others. Just an absolute basketball legend and a wonderful person. So we'll be talking with her tomorrow night, and we have a performance from Tom Bones Malone. He is a legend, another legend. I use that term very sparingly. A lot of legends.
Nothing wrong with that.
He started with the Saturday Night Live band on television. He was a musical director for 5 years, parlayed his way into being the arranger and trombone player for the Blues Brothers band, was in the movie, and then he spent 22 years in David Letterman's CBS orchestra. So he'll be sitting in with our house band and doing a featured performance as well of a Blues Brothers classic, which will be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And then next week we have Paula Cole, who huge hits in the 90s, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone, and the theme to Dawson's Creek, which is one of my favorite songs, I Don't Want to Wait. She's a Grammy winner. She has a new album out, came out earlier in the 1st of March. And she's hitting the road all over the country starting in April. She'll be back here in Maine in the summertime. And before she does all of that, she's visiting with us, and we're super stoked about it.
Very cool, very cool. And we'll get some B-roll of the undertaking that it takes to do something like this. Is generally you shoot at Gracie Theater in Hudson College, so you're based in Bangor most of the time.
Yeah.
How often have you come up here? And as we'll show, I mean, this takes a lot because you have to have a whole. I mean, we were talking to the tech guys. They're in a mobile type of thing or something. Yeah.
It's a crazy setup, and this is one of the things that I love most about doing this show is when people come, they watch it on TV, and it looks like the other shows, and they say, I don't really know what goes into that. Then they come, and they see there's an army of people working on it, and there's like 7 cameras, there's a remote mobile truck, there's audio people, there's stage managers, there are so many people. I don't know how we got this fortunate to have a show with all of these things pulling together in the same direction. But I love it when people come and see it, and they say, oh, I had no idea that there's somebody that has to hold the cue cards.
Right.
And I had no idea that there's somebody that has to give Dan a back rub during a commercial. That doesn't happen yet. But maybe
that's a different
Dan.
I think, isn't that a different Dan you're
different
talking
Dan,
about?
yeah.
Right, yeah.
So it is a labor-intensive thing, but we've done on the road 7 times, I think, over the years. This is our 3rd time in Westbrook.
Third time.
Yeah, we've gone to Penobscot Theater Company. We have gone to the Holton Performing Arts Center, Westbrook Performing Arts Center, and we were in Sanford. So this is our last time doing it. It's pretty sad, actually. It's kind of bittersweet, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, and that was kind of what my question was that you have been here a few times, so you worked out the kinks.
I don't know about that.
Right, exactly. You're still working on it here and there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting about what you talked about. A lot of people, they see the final product. They don't know how the sausage is made, all that goes into it.
Yep.
Like what kind of, I mean, it looked like a lot of people involved between the band and the background crew. I mean, 20 or 30 people, that type of thing? Or
more than that.
More,
yeah, we have I'd say about 50 people working on this tonight.
Yeah.
We have the people you see on camera, and you have people you don't see on camera. The people on camera, we have a 7-piece house band. We have Jeff Parsons from WHOM filling in for Christy Robinson, our normal co-host, and Jeff has been a great friend of the show. He doesn't know this, but listening to him is the reason I wanted to get into radio when I was younger, and I worked in radio for the first 5 years of my career. And Jeff is he made it sound fun, and he made it sound easy. And I found out it is definitely not easy, but it is fun. So it's going to be so fun having Jeff join me tonight as a co-host for a couple of weeks. And then there are so many people working behind the scenes, and it's like an anthill. They come out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So what are kind of the plans for the final season otherwise? I know we talked about it before. You say it's kind of a show without a net. You don't always make plans. I mean, we always figure it out as it goes along, but you probably have some surprise guests, send-offs. I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying. There were some guests we've wanted to have for 14 years that we still haven't landed, so we have one shot left to get him next season.
David Letterman. Maybe.
David Letterman is a big one. He is the top one. Paula Cole, we've been trying to get back on our show for 3 or 4 years, and I'm confident this will be her last time on the show, so I'm going to soak up every moment of it. We have guests that have been on our show that we want to come back, some regulars, sort of our version of the Don Rickles and the Keith Olbermanns that Letterman had, or just the people throughout the years that have been on other late night talk shows. We have our own versions of that. We want to bring them back, but it's hard because it's a jigsaw puzzle now. We know that we have this many shows left, and if everybody says yes, we don't have enough shows left. So it's going to be very difficult to figure out how it's all going to work. But it had to end at some point, and I'm more at peace with the fact that it's ending and we can put some thought into it rather than it ends because they have to do a televised memorial for me because I've passed away.
Exactly.
Like that's the worst case scenario.
Ending on your own terms and going out on top. It's kind of like the guys you're talking about. It's like the people that you'd see on your highlight reel of your shows.
Yeah.
Some of those folks that you've had that have always had good chemistry between you and the guests, things of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, just like Martin Short talks about how much prep work he does coming to do a late night talk show, and that's true today with Jimmy Fallon going on his show. He did it with Letterman for years, and with Leno, he always had stuff prepared. And we have guests like that too, and those are people that will absolutely be coming back in the final season because there are a couple of guests that we have where I have a little note card in front of me, and it's just blank because I know they're just going to take it and run with it. And sometimes I know what they're going to do, and sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Either way, the people that have done it enough and kind of know what we're about, it always goes off very well, whether I'm in the mix on it or not.
And speaking of running, this is like the worst kind of transition, but I know you're a big runner.
I
am. I've seen you on social media, a lot of marathons. I've run a few of those. They're really difficult.
Yeah.
Are you keeping up? Are you going to have more time after the show to do
Yeah.
things like that? Yeah.
I will. The last marathon I did was in January, and I was nervous about whether or not I'd be able to train for it because, late fall in Maine can bring a lot of snow and ice. But we had a pretty easy spell, at least in Bangor, so I was able to train for it. That was the Disney Marathon in January, and I put in to do the New York Marathon in November as a lottery. They pick a certain amount of people,
Right.
and I lost out on it. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to get back into running. I haven't run in about a month, and I'm blaming the late snow and the late ice, but it also has a lot to do with my late night pizza that I've been having.
The late night pizza.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad
Staying
combination.
Up and working on all these things.
That's right.
So can people check out more about things online
Yep.
or find your social media, things like that?
Yeah, we have one of these things called a website. We're very proud of it.
Right, exactly.
It's got information about our show. It's got video clips on there from the past 14 years. It's the nightshowmaine.com, and we spell night N-I-T-E.
Yes.
So we did not have spell check when we started the show. That's how old it is. The nightshowmaine.com has information about taping dates. Right now, it only has the taping dates that remain for this season. We have one left. Wow. Oh, man, I just got a breath of relief. It's almost over.
Exactly. You got a little time off. Yeah.
So we have one left. It's April 24th in Bangor, and then we'll post next season's taping dates as we get a little bit closer. But I highly recommend it. If you've ever thought about coming to check it out, I'm biased, obviously, but it really is a unique experience. There is nothing like it in New England. The closest there is to a show like ours is in New York, and we've tried very hard to kind of bring New York to Maine in a good way, not like Yankee stands, in a good way. We have a house band that is just off the charts in talent, and they amp the audience up. We have an audience warm-up guy, just like the big guys do.
Okay.
We have an audience. We have great guests, some of them that are local, some that come in from away. And the taping in Westbrook tonight is, I think, a perfect sort of cross-section of that. We have a local hero. We have some national-known people coming in. We have some local comedy. We're doing a parody of Law & Order called Law & Order Westbrook.
Okay.
So, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun to run around and shoot sketches. You don't know if they're going to be funny when you're shooting it. Sometimes you get sort of a glimmer of, oh, this is funny now, so it's going to be funny on television. Somebody that came up and did, I'm rambling now, so you get my first rambling interview.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody that came up and did our show, she has a website called TV Travels with Lori, and she would go to different TV sites around the country and take pictures of herself. So I invited her up here to do our show because I thought it was interesting. Okay. So we did this sketch where we ran around looking at different Stephen King movie locations, and nothing was written other than we were just going to these locations. And being a TV person herself, she worked at the People's Court.
Okay.
So she went through that whole experience, and she said that she was reminded how much fun she thought television could be because it was just people doing things because it might be funny.
Yeah.
And I take a lot of pride in that. This is the only show like this where you can do stuff that might be funny, and you know what? If it's not, you can try again next week.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I think that, number one, you're a trailblazer at this, and there's really only been one. And now there won't be any, but it's also, you guys throw stuff at the wall because that's part of. I mean, to me it seems like it's because you are kind of one person that's really in charge. It's not like you got to go to the heads of the corporations and figure things out. You can really be creative and artistic, and it's evolved over the years. I mean, it's my last question about that is when the show finally does kind of go off to the sunset. Will there be ways for people to see all of this stuff? Will you put it online somewhere, archive it? Or?
Well, the clips are online now. We haven't gotten that far yet. There's a lot we got to figure out. One person said to me, "Why did you announce you were ending the show a whole year ahead of time?" And it's because it took a long time to build this machine. It's going to take a long time to dismantle it. And we want to do it right. We might not do it right, but we're going to try. And that's all we can do.
And so what does the future for Danny Cashman look like? Something still in media? Are you thinking of transitioning more online, doing something different, taking a break for a while? Any ideas?
I got a different day job than this. And I have a nonprofit that I run. People have been really kind. I've gotten some phone calls saying, hey, would you like to do this with us? it is flattering. And I'm not saying no to anything, but I don't have a burning desire to be on television. I had a burning desire to do this show. So there might be something else that comes along that I am equally passionate about, but this has very little to do with seeing myself on television. Right. Don't get me wrong, I love that part. But it has more to do with, I grew up idolizing David Letterman and Johnny Carson, and now I get to do what they did in the state that I grew up in.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than that.
Well, it's very rare they get to really live your dream, and you've done that, and now there's other things to do as well that you're excited about.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm going to find something.
Find
I'm sure.
something,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
This it's been a lot over. It's been a very public 15 years, and I think there's got to be at least a little bit of a respite to not have a public thing that I'm doing. My day job can be public at times, and I'll do that. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm still a year removed, so I don't want to set anything in stone. But as I sit here right now talking to you, I think there's going to be a little bit of a breathing period where I can just kind of enjoy the silence.
And so the answer to that question is we haven't seen the last of Danny Cashman.
No.
And maybe the night show, maybe in a different form. We don't know. Let's leave the mystery to the viewer.
I say this, you know, and if ABC calls and yeah, Jimmy's retiring, we need you, I'd be like, all right, I'm going.
You're not closing any doors. They're still open.
There are no doors being closed. I've been reflective over the past couple of weeks, and that's sort of where I'm at right now.
And I know you're getting called.
I am getting called, I think.
So I just want to just quickly, where can they watch this? In every place, tell everybody, and then we'll get out of your hair.
Absolutely.
And let you do the show.
So in case you don't have a pen handy, all of this is available online on this website I referred to, thenightshowmaine.com. You can see us at 10:30 or after sports and news on Fox 23 in Portland. You can see us at 1 a.m. on CBS 13 in Portland. You can see us at 11:30 p.m. on WABI TV5 in Bangor and 11 p.m. on NBC 16 in Presque Isle.
Check those out. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome. You caught me cleaning up after one of our shows. Just thought I'd take a moment and say, hey, you don't want to miss Dave's Video Vault on Portland Media Channel 5, Cable Channel 5, Saturday nights, 9 o'clock. This week, we've got a new show. It's Spencer Tracy, Elizabeth Taylor, Father's Little Dividend. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, welcome to Friday PM. It's a new season, it's a new set, and I'm here with our director, Warren Edgar. Good to see you, Warren.
Good to see you.
Warren is our director here, and we're testing out some new lighting schemes, opening up the space a little bit. I hope you guys like it at home. I think it's going to look very cool. But Warren, we're going to talk to him a little bit also about other projects that Warren directs. He's been here at PMC and working at Lion E Media for several years now. But let's talk a little bit about a couple of the shows. But one of the shows you want to focus on talking about, you've been doing Pathways to Progress with several city councilors. I think it's expanded a little bit.
It has. So Lisa Savage, who you might know, she ran for state senate a little while back as the Green Party candidate and got a pretty significant amount of the vote. She's an educator. She has a new book out. And Lisa Savage, she sits down mostly with two city councilors, Roberto Rodriguez and Victoria Pelletier. And in some episodes, we have fill-in counselors if one can't make it. We've had Regina Phillips, who's been really amazing. We've had April Fournier, who's also been really amazing. And it's been really awesome to, basically the show is that the counselors come on and here's what's happening in Portland. These are the issues that Portlanders are facing. Lisa asks them, how can we address these questions? We talk about housing. We talk about the economy. We talk about the homeless problem. We've talked about a lot on the show.
A lot of things have been talked about.
It's 30 minutes. It's live. Sometimes we go out on the street and we talk to regular people and we go, hey, what do you want to ask your counselor? Our most recent episode was about the Museum of Art. The Museum of Art a while ago bought the Children's Museum right next door, and now they want to tear it down to build something new. And the building is historic and they need to go to the city council to get a permit. And Lisa wanted to get their take on it. We went on the street, we asked people what do they think, and then we got the counselors' opinions on it as well.
Well, so that's an interesting question. So the Children's Museum was not, it was right there side by side. It wasn't owned by the museum before. They were two kind of separate things.
They were two entities, and then I don't know the exact, I think 2019, I probably am wrong about that. The Portland Museum of Art bought out that area, and now the Children's Museum is down by, Where is it?
Oh, that's that Thompson's Point
Thompson's
area.
Point,
You're
yeah.
right. And it's expanded, I think. I haven't been there. So that does lead us to an interesting point about Pathways of Progress. It's a very progressive natured show. I mean, so they're kind of in that position, for example, they're trying to make sure that, people, the developers aren't, tearing things down that are good for the city. I mean, what's kind of the ethos of Pathways of Progress? So if you're watching, like it, hate it. Maybe some people will watch it because they really like what they have to say. Some people might watch it because they don't like what they have to say.
Yeah,
but at least they're
we
watching.
get both.
Right,
We
you
get a
both.
lot of there's a lot of Northerner Republicans who watch the show, and they're like, oh, yada yada yada, and they have their things to say about it. And then we get some really progressive liberals here in Portland who watch the show and they love it. And it's kind of funny. We get all sides of the political spectrum that watch the show.
And so a lot of times, and you can never be all things to everybody. So
Exactly.
sometimes the water's too hot, sometimes it's too cold, depending on who it is. They're not doing enough. But Lisa and the city councilors are oftentimes pretty progressive people. They're Democrats, and they talk about different issues that go on. How many years has the show been on now?
So we're going on our third season
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
It's been on for a while now. It was originally began in 2021, where our creator and former executive producer Gio Sangiovanni helped create the show. And he went out to Lisa Savage. He was good friends with her and said, "Hey, we want to do a progressive show where you talk about progressive topics here in Portland." We had Victoria Pelletier and Roberto Rodriguez had just won their seat for city council. And we had done a panel discussion with them, and we basically went to them and said, hey, how would you like to be on this show talking about Portland issues? And it spun off from there. And I mean, it's been every month. Sadly, Gio Sangiovanni is no longer with the show.
Yeah. You took over as the director at that
Well,
time.
I was the director. I came on as the director for the first shows, and then I assumed the role as executive producer next to Lisa, who also serves as the other executive producer on the show.
Yeah. So it's been a couple of years. It's taken on a life of its own. And you guys have been involved in a lot of the different issues. What are some notable issues that you remember? I think you guys talked a lot about what had gone on with the homeless camps. That was a big issue that was happening. I think you guys even did something about some Middle Eastern policy even. So
We did, yeah.
So-
No, it's the Portland City Council did a Gaza resolution,
Right.
And you can see that as you will.
Both sides of the
and we talked to the city councilors about why they decided to make that decision. What compelled them to do that, the messaging behind it, how other states had done similar things, and no, it was a really good in-depth discussion.
I feel like, the show, the city councilors are almost the guests.
Yeah.
But the show is really about Lisa, really about yourself behind the scenes. So I think that, it could go on with different councilors and maybe that would add some fresh ideas because I think they want to move in and out of things in the private sectors depending on who comes in. And you've had good times with a lot of the other folks that have subbed in, like Regina. Did you say
Phillips.
April also?
April
Fournier?
Fournier has
She's
been on the
jumped
show.
on a show once or twice.
We've been really fortunate to have city councilors on the show that I think have made a great difference in talking to people through this show.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great medium where it's a way to connect with your counselors because you might not even know who they are. You might not,
right.
really know much about them. And if every month I can tune in and I can watch them talk about issues that are affecting me, I think that's really big.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they probably know who they are by name because they end up voting for the person. They see a sign while they're driving down the street, but I wouldn't know who any of the people are. But you could put a face and just an understanding who they are as people.
Yeah.
And I think that show's really good about that, to be in a way to get people to get to really know these people as people in the city, as your neighbors.
Yep.
And is there any last thing about Lisa? Because I know Lisa's a great part of the show. What's her? She's writing a book now. Some other interesting things.
Yeah, no, she wrote a book and she's looking to get it published. It's called Heaven Spelled Backwards.
Okay.
Lisa Savage, she's doing her thing. I can't really speak to her or what plans she has, but she's doing Pathways to Progress, and every month she comes
And she'll
on.
be the permanent host for as long as we can envision.
For as long as
She's the
Pathways to Progress
one of the
goes.
co-creators.
She is one of the she helped create the show. I mean, it was in many ways it was me, Gio Sangiovanni, and Lisa.
Right. So
I
it's-
did the production and they did the coordinating everything.
As long as the team's still here, they'll be on Channel 5. You got to watch these guys every Friday night. Well, it's on every Friday? Are the
It's
repeats
on
or?
every Friday, and we are live with a new episode every second Friday of the month,
Second Friday
7 p.m.
Yep.
And then you can also watch pmcwatch.com or on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yep.
Check these guys out. I want to thank you very much, Warren, for coming
Thank
down
you.
here. I hope you guys like the new set. Keep watching. We'll be right back.
Oh, you caught me at a really bad time. I'm trying to find Bigfoot here out in the wild to be on date night because that's where true love can only be found. I don't know where I am. Honestly, I'm lost. I have no reception. I think I'm gonna die out here. I don't know how you even got out here, but I'm gonna go find Bigfoot. You go watch Date Night at 8:30 p.m. Friday nights, Channel 5.
Hey, everybody. We're back again. I'm here with Jamie Terrelin, the Portland extrovert. Good to see you, Jamie.
Hey.
So I'm very excited to finally have Jamie on her show. She's been behind the scenes. You've seen her pop up in a lot of different shows, but she's also been crucial to the behind the scenes. You've been a Jack lady of all trades. You've done a lot of different things on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call me the Portland extrovert, in fact.
Extrovert. Yeah, you've helped out on the show a lot of times. But Jamie has a great other life outside of our show, doing things in Portland. We're going to sit down a little bit now and talk about that as well. So, Jamie, tell me a little bit about, kind of before we get to your Portland extrovert days, which is more recent. You grew up in Maine.
Yep, I am Jamie from J Maine.
J-Maine.
I am my town and state, which made me a born extrovert and tour guide.
And what was Maine like growing up in Maine?
Oof.
It's a smaller
Painfully
town.
boring.
Right, boring, yeah.
And I could not wait to get out and live life to the fullest. And that's why I make my life, my livelihood, helping others live their best life.
So what age did you move out from J, right? When you got to be 18, you
Yep.
took, yeah.
As soon as I graduated a year early.
Okay.
In fact, so
Yep.
I could get out and I could go on to New York City
New York. So did you
and
go,
become a nanny.
became a nanny? There was no stop in Portland. You went straight from J to New York, to the bigger cities.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I learned to drive on 5-lane highways with a stick shift for my first ever driving on a highway. Because
Okay.
we never even went to Portland, Maine,
Oh, okay.
the
yeah.
big city of Maine.
And as we know, Portland has really only been more exciting of a city in the past decade or so. So when you had left, Portland was fun, but it wasn't as happening as New York.
No, it was more like Greenwich Village kind of vibe going on here.
A little slower. So did you spend all of that time before you came back to Maine in New York, or did you bounce around a little bit to other cities?
Ooh, yeah, I worked my way back. I tried Massachusetts. Nope.
Boston?
I tried New York again, but
Yep.
upstate more, just an hour out of the city, but still too far out of the city. So I figured, hey, if I'm going to live in quiet city, I'm going to come to Portland.
Come to Portland.
And be here where
Yeah.
my nieces were being born.
Family here. Do you still nanny sometimes?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still get
okay,
to nanny
okay, yeah.
I nanny at least one day a week to
Okay.
keep my little precious moments with nuggets.
Yes. And so we'll talk a little bit about being the Portland extrovert, kind of tour guides, a lot of interesting things. So what year did you get back to Portland?
Oof, my goodness. I traveled to New York, to Boston, to New York, to California, to
Right.
Boston, to Portland. I think I bought my house in 2006.
06, okay.
So it was soon after I moved back. I bought my house since I knew I was going to stay.
Yeah, you decided Portland is it. This is where you want to
Well, because of my nieces being born, I decided I was not going to miss them being born.
be. Okay, and growing up too. And these same nieces now are probably like practically in college or something, right?
They are in college.
Yeah, exactly.
They
'cause
are.
that's-
They just were lined up at 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Okay, okay. Are they out of state? Did they stick around in Maine or?
Well, sort of, in a sense, Central Maine is out of state because
It's different
this is a
down
whole
there.
different state than even Central and Northern Maine here in
Right.
Portland.
We are,
But
yeah.
yes, they are in Wayne, Maine.
Wayne, Maine.
So
it
they
rhymes,
left
yeah.
J Maine and
Maine
went to
too.
Wayne, Maine.
Okay, okay. And do they come and visit their aunt often up here to go out? Or?
I wish.
Yeah.
Auntie gets a visit, like when they're about to get married. I just got one, and when I tell them that they're always welcome.
Yeah.
I hope that they come and visit a heck of a lot more because Auntie misses them.
So when you got here, you already had the bug to be a tour guide, a promoter, an influencer, or is this more recent that you got more excited about that side of things?
I have always loved helping people live their best life and helping find the activities, the life, the joy, kind of like Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I want you to get excited about your life.
Okay.
Is kind of how I treat my friends and community around me. So I would always find the live music, find the events for nannying. I'd find the best kids activities, and for my nieces, I'd find like the best free gymnastics, and go see a children's show. And then, but for like food, we became the foodie city. Once we became the foodie city, then that was fun because then I got to go around taking people on tours of the best food, and then we had the best brews, and we've always had good Brussels. So I've
Yes.
always helped people find the best Brussels.
For the audience out there, how do they get in touch with you? What's the best way to, if they want to do a tour, if they want to learn more about the Portland area?
Ooh, that is good. I do have postcards that
Yeah.
have my
Info?
contact name, influencer, promoter,
Put
tour
that
guide.
right up here, yeah. At Portland Extroverts. They can reach you at dove78@hotmail.com if they want to get in touch with you.
Yep. and-
Those are probably the best ways, right?
Right, and I do have my contact info, and I
Yeah.
have a flyer up here at Portland Media
Portland
Center.
Media Center if you want to learn more
And then
about
at
it.
the Historic Society and
Okay,
a few
yeah.
other shops downtown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you can look me up, Jamie Terrellin,
Jamie Terrellin on Facebook.
Jaime.
Okay.
And then the
Facebook,
Terrillyn is my first and middle. I'm the one and only
Terry
on
Lynn.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yes,
So
yes.
pretty
Pretty good.
extroverted and important.
But you never know. There might be more people now that they see this that want to
That want
be
to
the
take
next
that name.
version of you. Exactly.
The Portland
Extrovert. So let's talk a little bit about that because I find that really interesting. You've been here, obviously. It was very interesting that you got here about 4 years before. So what happened was there was a write-up in one of these which one was it?
The Bon Appetit.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, and they said Portland, Maine, one of the best restaurant towns that maybe you had never heard of. And the ball started rolling from there. But you had got there 4 years earlier to Maine. So in that 4 years, you kind of had a little bit of lead up and then the build up. And so what are the places you recommend? What excites you about the downtown?
Well, I love that I was here before all
Yes.
the write-ups, so I did have a feel on the community, on the new brews and food, and all the businesses coming up and the business owners, so I do get to know them personally. So that's been delightful to hear, like, what they enjoy.
What they enjoy, right?
Making and what they wanted to focus on. And then we had unique ideas beyond the seafood, which is a given for Maine.
Yeah.
But we also had the Brussels sprouts. We were known for like all these different concoctions and ways of making Brussels, which was so funny.
Yeah.
Because then they came up with the duck fat free shack, who decided to use duck fat to cook fries and Brussels and
Yeah.
make their version of poutine, which is another classic for Maine and Canada. And then we also have the brews that you can add in. So the breweries would be next door, the food would be there. And then we had Thirsty Pig that brought in music and brought together Bissell Brothers plus their food. And then that grew into Bissell Brothers creating their amazing high roller, which deserves accolades
And-
for creating seafood in a fashionably fun sort of way.
And a lot of this you talk about is right down the old part on Exchange Street.
Yes, right
Yeah,
downtown.
because that's Thirsty Pig, I know that. Thirsty Pig, great place for
Right
live
across
music.
from Blythe and Burroughs,
Blythe
one of the
and
most
Burroughs,
popular bars
popular
in the
bar.
Old Port
Yeah.
now, with great concoctions, like potions for
Potions.
their drinks.
And
with a
high roller is
speakeasy in the
great for lobster rolls.
Lobby pops. They do
Okay.
lobster tails on a
Yeah.
popsicle stick.
Okay.
With many different flavors
yeah.
also. So they've done, so it kind of grew spiraling, like, Thirsty Pig let Bissell brew, and then became popular and then created High Roller. And then High Roller had their mother make the whoopie pies. So their mommy made whoopies
She made the whoopie pies.
at
Yeah.
High Roller
Okay.
with these like fusion style seafood dishes. And then, you know, out of that grew other businesses. And then beside it is now probably one of my most favorite, which most people wouldn't even know, is Crispy Guy
Okay.
with Kyle Reynolds, who broke off of Mr. Tuna, which is one of the ones that got its write-up and brought our town to become this foodie city. And
Yeah,
now
Mr. Tuna, yeah.
his second in command has his own restaurant now. Kyle Reynolds has Crispy Guy, and it is angel sing heavenly tasting. Like
okay.
you've never had before.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't know to go there because it's a little hole in the wall next to the hidden treasure of a Revolutionary War piece of memorabilia.
What street is
That
this? Where
this
is
is all
it?
on Exchange
On
Street.
Exchange.
down
So
in
we're
the
still
Old
sticking
Port.
to Exchange Street. Yes. Okay.
Lots of Exchange Street
Yeah,
is
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of what I'm visualizing going down through because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
main street in the Old Port.
Okay.
It is actually the most walked there and Wharf Street. And so when you're walking down Exchange Street, you hit so many restaurants. When you could start from City Hall, you know, built after the New York City Public Library, based off of that Carrere and Hastings came up with, and then you walk down. There's High Roller, Crispy Guy, other gorgeous restaurants that have made a name for themselves.
And
And then you come up
yeah.
to, you cross over a middle,
Yeah.
and you come to Blythe and Burroughs that has such following and has people coming in from all around. So that is a lot of fun.
What about the pastries place that's down?
Gross.
Yeah. How's
Yeah, that
Good?
one
Yeah.
I've recommended people to go and get pastries. I walk on down Blythe. If I'm getting a pastry, I often turn as you're coming down Exchange,
Yeah.
past Blythe. You turn, and then there's Gorgeous Gelato. So there's right near Gritty's, and there's a little walkway
Yeah,
in
that-
between
right.
Gritty's and Gorgeous to walk down to Wharf Street. That will
Okay.
lead you right to my favorite restaurant, Via Vecchia.
Yes.
But we'll talk more about Via Vecchia and a speakeasy in the back that's
Okay.
like a Phantom of the Opera meets the Titanic.
Interesting.
Glamorous spot
Okay.
I adore. But if you're just going for dessert,
Yeah.
scoot on over to Gorgeous, authentic Milan, gorgeous gelato.
Gorgeous gelato.
And
is
they'll
it-
make an affogato,
Okay.
which is unique to the culture, where you'd have a gorgeous cup of authentic espresso and your choice of gelato
And the gelato too.
mixed in there, and you just share it with a loved one and have a romantic little rendezvous
So,
on the streets of Italy /
yeah.
the Old Port
What
for an
about-
exchange.
What about do you like the place that's next to it that seems to be an Asian type of place that I've seen
The
there?
Tiger, the Paper Tiger.
Is that any good? Yeah.
Paper Tiger's fun. It's definitely like a hangout scene.
More hangout, yeah. Younger.
After
fun.
work,
After work.
hangout
A
scene.
lot of the people who work in the industry kind of thing, you think, or
That, plus
Yeah.
also people after the 9 to 5.
just after 9 to 5. So what about two places I'm wondering about? Well, the first one I'll ask you about, there's that new place that used to be Walter's. How's that? Do you like that one?
I have not been.
Haven't been. I think it's Puerto Rican maybe or something like that.
Yeah, that will be fun to check out.
Worth checking out, right?
That will be fun. It's like, for me, I've lately been super excited about having Crispy Guy whenever
Crispy
I'm
guy.
downtown.
I gotta try this crispy guy. Is that an Asian type of thing? Is that
Yes,
what you're talking
it's
about?
like
And
an Asian infusion. It's gonna be a cult classic.
called classic.
It's gonna be. Well, think of Mr. Tuna.
Mr.
That
Tuna.
was one of the calling cards for the Portland foodie scene.
And what about the restaurants down on that Wharf Street? I know that was always Street and Company.
That's Via Vecchia.
Via
and Street
Vecchia is right
Company.
around. Yeah,
They're right
exactly.
beside each other, and right across from each other. But
So-
the
yeah.
vines
Yeah.
leading up to Via Vecchia, and
okay.
the fact that you just say, "I'd like to be seated in the back."
Yeah, yeah.
You walk into Candelabras, and Phantom of the Opera meets the Titanic vibe, from like the 20s to 40s kind of vibe.
Okay.
And it's glitz and glam.
Glitz and glam.
You just feel magical when you walk in there.
On the next interview, let's talk a little bit more about the nightlife scene. But just for a teaser, what would you say is your favorite nightlife scene? Do you think Henry's is where it's
Henry's
at?
is a given, fabulous, right there in the center of town.
Okay.
Right at the end of Exchange, corner of 4, bam. There's always live music, sometimes upstairs and downstairs. And they have a great blackened fish sandwich and Brussels and just so many, like, they really did a good job with the food, the
Well, so the
ambiance, and the
restaurateur
fact
behind
live
that, Josh Miranda, who has Via Vecchia's, he has Henry's, the new Puerto Rican restaurant. You know the name, I'm sure, maybe.
And then there's
And then
Blythe and Burroughs.
Blythe and Burroughs. He's all in that very collected area, but he always
there's
picks
a fifth one coming.
fifth one coming, and he always picks very good chefs. So the menu is always a great staple. But Henry's, a lot of live music. Our friend
Jazz
Lee
every
Callis is
Wednesday
playing
night.
jazz Wednesday nights. Go check that out if you like mellow live music upstairs and downstairs. It depends sometimes.
Upstairs on the weekends, they pep it up with
Pep
a
it up on the
DJ.
upstairs, yeah. Check out the Henry's. It's open all the time. Live music. It's a great place. On our next interview, we're going to talk a little bit more about nightlife. Are you excited about that? Do you know
I
a few
am. I love
kind of
it.
hidden places? You're helping people live their best lives, and we want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you. So we'll send that out to you guys again right here. And it's also the best bet, I think, is Portland Extrovert on Instagram and Facebook, right? To find
Yep,
you?
or
Yeah.
just look up Jamie Terrelin.
Jamie Terrelin on there, yeah,
Yeah.
as well. Okay, so we'll be right back and watch shortly for our second episode talking about the nightlife in Portland.
Perfect.
We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome. You caught me cleaning up after one of our shows. Just thought I'd take a moment and say, hey, you don't want to miss Dave's Video Vault on Portland Media Channel 5, Cable Channel 5, Saturday nights, 9 o'clock. This week, we've got a new show. It's Spencer Tracy, Elizabeth Taylor, Father's Little Dividend. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'll see you there.
this is going out to him. It's called Going to New York. Man, I'm going to New York, get on a big quiz show. Gonna win myself some of all of that dough. I'm going to New York. I'm going to New York. I'm going if I have to walk. I've been here. You know I've been there, honey, I've been summer everywhere. But I'm going to New York. Yes, I'm going to New York. I'm going, honey, if I have to walk. Yeah, come on, Bruce, cool your eye, let's kill walking now. Yeah, Bruce, yeah. Been down east, I've been out west, way out south, I sure won't rest, 'cause I'm going to New York. Yes, I'm going to New York. I'm going if I have to walk. Yeah, Mike, walking with Mike Williams, damn it. What I'm talking about. Man, I'm going to New York, get on me a quiz show. Try to win myself some all of that dough. Going to New York. Yes, I'm going to New York. I'm going if I have to walk. Going to New York. going New York. Going New York. Going New York. You know I mean that. I'm gone if I have to. Oh yeah! Hey James, that's for you, bro. March. All night long. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. I want you to rock me, baby, like my back ain't got no bone. Roll me, baby, like you roll a wagon wheel. Roll me crazy like you roll a wagon wheel. Roll me, baby, you don't know how good it makes me feel. Oh yeah. Thank you, sir. Now somebody's over there trying to take your seat, so you better go get your seat. No, over there, get your seat. That way. I know around the Lord, y'all. Yeah, Cashman. I like them glasses on your face. Thank you. Thank you so much. rock me slow. When you rock me, baby, come on and rock me slow.